Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. There's Almond Scott selections here for Thursday, August 10th. For again, today's play of the day. Quick recap of what happened yesterday. We had a loss in baseball with Joey Gallo under half a run at minus 145 on Bet365. Didn't take long either, as Gallo hit a home run in his first at bat. You know, whenever you're fading Joey Gallo, the one thing you got to be afraid of is the home run. And unfortunately, Gallo actually made contact with the ball, and it went about 400 feet. So picked up a loss there. Pretty rough when you look at how the game played out because Gallo only had two plate appearances in the entire game. He was pinch hit for in the sixth inning. So we got a minus 145 prop on a guy who only had two at bats in the game, and we still lost. So I like the value there, but unfortunately, Faedo had a two-strike count and just hung an off-speed pitch up and in to Gallo, who destroyed it. But either way, I picked up a loss. Look for a winner here on Thursday. And for today's play today, going to switch gears a little bit, talking about the WNBA. Going to look at a matchup between the Lynx and the Fever, taking place at around 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And for this game, going to take the Lynx minus 3.5 at minus 110 on DraftKings. Time recording of 2:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Covering why we're going to take the Lynx in the spot. First reason, the Lynx have been playing some good basketball lately, while the Fever have been probably the worst team in the league for the last 2 months. The Lynx have won 4 of their last 6 games, with each of those wins coming by at least 4 points, while the Fever have lost 15 of their last 17 games. They've completely fallen apart. They are now in possession of last place in the entire league, and as a result, I think this line's a bit short. Now, to go through the last 5 games, Minnesota's been shooting the ball very well. Minnesota ranks 4th in true shooting percentage, while Indiana ranks 2nd to last in the league. And I mentioned the last 5 games because Minnesota was without its best player for 3 of those games, and they're still top 4. So the point is the supporting cast has stepped up. We've seen McBride play pretty well. We've seen Miller play pretty well, and now Collier's back in the lineup. Shepard recently got healthy. So Minnesota's basically at full strength again, and this is a playoff team. So I do think, once again, you're looking at Minnesota, who's just the more talented team in the spot. At the Fever for a second, I mentioned how they lost 15 of their last 17. I got to mention the teams they've played against because you might assume, well, maybe recently they were against some really, really good teams. Not really. They tend to lose to a lot of bad teams or below average teams as well. So to go through the schedule, their last game they played against the Sparks, they lost by 7 at home. The Sparks are not a very good basketball team. Game before that played the Dream, lost by 9. The Dream are fine. They're 15 and 13, been pretty streaky, and they've not exactly been in good form lately, but I guess that loss excusable. Played the Sun the game before that, lost by 16. Sun are a good team. It is what it is. Played the Mercury before that, won by 1. The Mercury are one of the worst teams in the league as well. Played another bottom feeder in the Storm the game before that, lost by 23 at home, and played the Sparks 2 times before that and lost both games. So once again, not many great teams that they've been facing off against, and not many good teams either, and they still keep losing. So I think when you're looking at the Lynx once again getting to close to full strength, I do think that the Lynx should be able to take care of business against a team that has really been underwhelming for the last 2 months. And I'm mentioning that the Fever are the home team in this game because it really does not matter. The Fever have been really bad at home this season. In fact, they have lost 10 of their first 12 home games, while the Lynx have been decent on the road. The Lynx are 8 and 6 straight up on the road. So once again, home court advantage really doesn't mean much to me in this game. And to look at the actual trends recently, the Lynx are 4-0 ATS in their last 4 road games, while the Fever are 0-6 ATS into their last 6 games. But simply put, you have a team that's in total freefall, that's losing to everybody, even the bad teams, against a team that's been pretty decent lately. And once again, with Collier back in the lineup, she's easily the best player on the entire court in this game. Not even close. I do think that you're looking at what should be a pretty solid effort from the supporting cast as well, with Diamond Miller and with Kayla McBride playing well recently from the guard position. I think Indiana is just a poorly coached team. They are relatively healthy for once, which might be why the line is relatively short, since you ended up seeing them get a couple of key players back recently. But even with that being the case, they still haven't won many games. So I think when you're looking at this current number, it's really just expecting the Fever to suddenly figure things out when they've lost 15 of 17 games. I don't see that happening. I think 3.5 is too low. I expect money to come in on Minnesota, probably closing at 4.5 or 5. But until Indiana beats an even decent team, I'm not going to assume they're suddenly going to wake up. So play that once again here for Thursday, August 10th is going to be on the Lynx minus 3.5 at minus 110 on DraftKings. Bye, everyone.